In this episode, we will examine how to change body, soul, and subject with character. All progress equates to change, but not all change equates to progress. Greetings! I'm Roger Newbold, and welcome to episode number 54 of the Experience Photography Vlog. My co-conspirator, my good friend, my fellow photographer and editor for this adventure is Mr. Matt Rich. Are you there, my friend? Are you able to sit up and take nourishment yet? No more ER visits, I hope. Doing better? Excellent. You know, losing your job is a change, but you deciding to pursue an interest that is more in line with your values and passions, now that is progress. Progress makes us happy. It makes us want to jump out of bed in the morning and start the day with intent and purpose. Progress pushes us forward. Progress must be worked on. Unlike change, it is not automatic, nor is it a matter of chance. You know, when I look back at the progress I've made, it makes me smile. It fills me with joy. It also renews my interest toward my own resourceful developments. You cannot sit on your rump and hope for progress. It requires movement. It demands that you pay the dues and put in the hours. Yeah, I read it. You go read it now. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Progress, in the end, pays you back tenfold. And it starts with a desired change. A change may take a day, a week, perhaps a decade, or in many cases, a lifetime. It depends on how aggressively you pursue the goal and how easily you identify the goal. For a fact, we can relate to you that the intention of this discussion can easily turn your joyful self-expression and all of your excitement to self-subsistence and unintentional heavy business decisions if you're not careful. People get into this for the joy and, whoa, I'd like to do this all the time. Next thing you know, you're running a business. That's a tough decision. We will attempt to keep this in the realm of blissful creativity, avoiding the fears and encumberment of business responsibilities. School supposedly prepared everyone to make a living, to be productive, and pay increasing tax burden for the apathetic public. However, the school system from the 1970s onward has increasingly depreciated the humanities, the arts, the music, and wrung most of the pleasure completely out of education. Now, a purpose in life is to value and develop a greater understanding of ourselves, along with experiencing wonder, learning, and sharing with others. You know, the top-down ascertainment from teacher to student without expanded consideration is just no longer accepted. It's not sufficient. Becoming self-aware does not stop you from making mistakes. It does, however, allow you to learn from them. A person must be big enough to admit their mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. You know, when you're self-aware and you're alert and you're mindful, you can see where your thoughts and emotions are guiding you. It means you're expanding in a good way. And I don't mean the fat way, and don't even go there. This is imperative. If you want to be a champion at any endeavor, one must learn humility and have humility. And humility is not about having low self-esteem or poor self-esteem. Not at all. Humility is about being filled with self-awareness. Then we can exercise self-control, obtain self-mastery, and develop the ability of self-correction. For these are the beginnings of wisdom. Learning what irritates us about others and nipping it in the bud before we putrefy from the same ill leads us to better understanding of ourselves, and it develops better citizenship. The journey we are most concerned with is the one from within. Anais Nin said, "We do not see things as they are, we see things as we are." Julia Cameron, in her book, The Artist Way, implores each of us to join the spiritual path, and then indicates that this spiritual path means getting on the road to greater personal creativity. Agreed, the task is not easy, but it can be done. Poet Rudyard Kipling reminded us in a poem, A Father's Advice to His Son, "If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs," and he continued, "and fill the unforgiving minutes with quality, then you become a man, my son." Now let us survey a few new specifics. These may help us keep our head in trying times, pointing us to a road of greater creativity and facilitating better quality in our images. Now, Julia Cameron recommended writing the morning papers. It's a cognitive diary, or map, if you will, of ourself, and a reminder of our intended directions. Write them and read them. Author Austin Kleon, of the book Still Like an Artist, and I love it, reminds us that ever-handy pocket-sized notebook to carry it with you all the time. Come on, Moleskin, we still haven't heard from you. Use it as it may be needed to keep track of locations, times, dates, fantastic subject matter. Make sketches of compositions and all of the rest of the stuff, you know, that we wish that we would remember, but don't. If you remember the story, I told it before about Ruth Bernhardt's crystal doorknob picture, a story that took an entire year to complete. The notebook can be used for playing the game I Spy with My Little Eye and their connections. Generally, creative people are good at seeing connections. Just terrible at remembering them. Jot them down, thus enhancing your ability to see connections that you can enhance your creativity. For example, Pablo Picasso encountered a bicycle, and reimagining the seat of that bicycle and the handlebars as he looked at it, this is in 1942, he came up with the sculpture, The Bull's Head. Good work, Picasso. What part does the creative muse play in your life? Think on it, dwell on it. What does it play in your life? Picasso, in his mind, said there's no waiting for the muse to show up. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. And the novelist Isabel Allende echoed that same thing with her advice. Show up. Show up. Show up. Here's another good one. 10 ways to accomplish the same task game. Oh, what a fun game. But it's just too easy to think of 10 ways. Let's make it more of a challenge. Let's accomplish the assignment like one of photographers I really like, Joseph Sudak, 1896 to 1976. He was a Czech photographer, best known for his photographs of Prague. He was rendered one-armed in World War I, had one blown off. He was a neo-romantic, a modern artist who documented his meager life using an 8x10 view camera. What a lug. Take a picture of Sudak. Sudak was so poor, he photographed his lunch every way imaginable, and then ate the subjects. Set clear limits game. Choose a particular project or task, and then impose on yourself specific restrictions, like how many lens focal lengths am I allowed to use today? Maybe we only use just the normal 50. Or perhaps we allow ourselves a 35 and an 85. Or we can really be bold and use a 16 millimeter all day long. Play the game. For example, think of Dr. Seuss. What does he have to do with photography? Well, he wrote a book called Green Eggs and Ham, and that entire book, he only used 50 different words. Yeah? These constraints lead to creative decisions that define the success of these works. How can you help? How can we help you create new and renewed gusto? Play the time management game. Give yourself a strict deadline to complete a project or task. The pressure of the ticking clock can spur innovative thinking and rapid decision making. That's a real creative producer. Or what if every shot had to have a shutter speed of 60 seconds? How would you play the game? How would that change the creative way you interact? The alphabet game. Well, everyone can be creative with this, and you probably use the alphabet every day for creative functions simply to get organized. But is it as easy as any alphabetical progression? Photograph one subject, each starting with the next consecutive letter of the alphabet. And just think, when you get to the zoo, you can sit down and have a cold drink and smile and know that you accomplished something. How about the change your environment game? Shake up your routine a bit. Change your surroundings. Instead of working in the office today, let's go work from a cafe or Barnes & Noble or the coffee shop or wherever you hang out. Take a different routine on your walk or drive and shoot new things that you encounter. Now, if you're really, really brave, ride a bicycle, if you dare. But the new environment can stimulate your brain and lead to new ideas to photograph. Play the what-if game. What if a clown took this shot? How would you react to that? What if a microbiologist get done if this little macro lens and took this shot? What if you were a miniature and all of your subjects were gigantic? Oh, how would those shots turn out? What if a 5-year-old took the shot? What would it look like? Come on, play the game. Photography is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be creative. We're supposed to learn from this. Now, you'll see why this is my personal favorite. I love this game. Eat with the creatives. Yeah, sure. Invite one of those that you esteem to be as creative, a self-aware and trendy person, to eat with you and share their techniques with you. Oh, food rewards always bring out the secrets. Passion, creativity, self-awareness. It stems from our experience or our relationships. It moves us. They can lead to magnificent inspiration. They are our own emotional fuel. If we think of creativity as connecting all the dots, then sensitive people, the creative people, those who have heightened sensitivities and experiences, they are going to have more dots and more opportunities. The passion is never ending if you don't let it become so. Now, you can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. The option is yours. The ball's in your court, so to speak. So, having been slapped in the chops with a steel glove, do you accept the challenge? Maybe we'll see something entirely new coming out of you. Well, my friends, our time is up for today, and thank you for tuning in. I hope we mapped out some new thoughts and new targets for your creative expansion. Please subscribe and share with somebody new. And give us a big thumbs up. Yeah. So until we meet here on screen again, a tip of my hat, which I forgot. But no, I love you and I appreciate you tuning in. And I think a lot about you and helping and being of service. So cheerio for now.